and welcome here to TalkFCB, and welcome back to the channel here today, guys, where we do have a full Barca news roundup coming your way. Also following on from yesterday's big win in the final game of the Asian Tour. Today we're going to have some discussion on Ronald Araujo and also on Dani Olmo too. Plus, we've got a big update here on Marc Bernal and the latest news on Marc-Andre Ter Stegen. Right now, I do not even have the words to describe what we are seeing. But believe me, I am going to find some. It is all coming up for you. Now let's do it. But indeed, guys, circling back to yesterday's big victory, 5-0 there over Daegu. And I do have to say, in the comments in yesterday's video, lots of positivity surrounding Gerard Martin there. I asked you what you thought of him as a player, what your expectations were of him. And as you can see right here, super thanks coming in from Augustine. Thank you very much there for the support. And he says, look, Gerard Martin, he carries the ball well. He's a good passer. He's got intelligence. The only concern would be is that he can be a little bit clumsy at times, but he can be a solid backup with potential. And to be honest right now, in terms of Martin, I probably agree with that there. It's quite clear that Hansi Flick, he sees something in his game. We've seen him, of course, at left-back last season. He was given the opportunity by Flick, who stuck with him even no matter what. And now we're seeing him as well being deployed as a centre-back. And like we said there, there's still more tests to come. You know, in terms of everybody right now in the squad, you would say that in terms of the pre-season, the tests are going to get bigger. We are going to be asked a lot more questions than we have done over the past few games, but still, the signs for the whole team have been very, very positive. And can we also just say that in the second half yesterday, Marc Casado came onto the field there, and in my opinion, he was absolutely fantastic. And let's remember, guys, this is a player that's been linked away from the club, whereby Barca might be thinking, do we need him? Do we not need him? Could we do without him in our squad? The answer is no. We could not do without him. We need Marc Casado. He brings something different. He brings a different energy, a different flavour to that midfield. You look at him yesterday in the way that he played. He's breaking up play. He's turning that ball over. Essential in a Hansi Flick style of play to get that ball back quickly and then move it on. He is a player who does all of the right things. He's perfect for this system, and he can be such an important player in this team. We can't let him go. It looks right now as though we won't be, and that's great news. But from one Marc to another, let's also talk here about Marc Bernal right now, because some people are wondering why haven't we seen him yet in this pre-season period, especially since he has been training with the team again. He's been very much part of the squad there during the Asian Tour, but he is yet to feature in an official match. And ultimately right now, what the club are doing is that they're just taking things very, very slowly right now. You've got to remember that Marc Bernal, he's been out for 11 months at this point. You know, it's very nearly 1 year since that terrible ACL injury, and you do need time to build up your core fitness again, to recapture that sharpness in your game, and the last thing you want to do is rush somebody and throw them back into a match too soon. So right now, I think the pre-season tour has been very important for Marc Bernal to be training with the team again, to be ramping up that recovery, and these training sessions as well will have also made him feel part of the group again. You know, mentally, he is going to be feeling really, really good right now. And apparently, the plan could be that Marc Bernal makes his return and gets his first minutes back out on the pitch on Sunday in the Jean Gamper Trophy versus Como. Now, that would be absolutely fantastic there if that could happen. It will depend on what happens this week, how the coaching staff see him, how the medical staff see him as well. But I just think that would be a great moment and perfect timing, of course, before the brand new season starts. But can I just say, on Bernal, we have to stay patient with him there. We have to be very careful. We have to go slowly. We saw that it took even Gavi some time to fully come back and fully recapture his level after that kind of absence. Bernal here, he's an unbelievably talented player. He's got huge potential. He's still only 18 years old, but he will need time, and he will need all of our support to recapture his sharpest level. But I think we do also need right here today some discussion on Ronald Araujo, because he came out with a very interesting quote after yesterday's game where he said, I am staying at Barca. Absolutely, I'm happy here. And he went on to say, you've not seen the best version of Ronald. And that is the version that is coming. So Araujo right now is telling us all, you haven't seen the best of me yet, and that is what I am going to produce in the coming season. And I would like to have some debate here, guys, because let me just ask you right now, if you were playing a big Champions League game tomorrow, if it was a really, really important Champions League game, where would Araujo rank in terms of your team selection? You know, in terms of our centre-backs right now, where would he lie? Because I would say Pau Cubarsí, in my opinion, would be ahead of him right now in the pecking order. I think based on what he did last season, Íñigo Martínez, he would have to be ahead of him too right now. And I would almost argue as well, because of the composure, because of the calmness in his game, would Christensen also be ahead of Araujo in terms of that hypothetical scenario? Because I would say, to be honest, guys, Araujo with that quote, he's even saying it himself. He is saying right now that we haven't been seeing the best of him. He's openly admitting there that, yeah, maybe over the past 2 seasons, he has not been at his best. He has not been showing the kind of level that we expect from him. And can I also just say, though, we know it's in there. You know, we know what Araujo is capable of at his best. He can be an absolutely incredible defender, an absolute warrior, but we need to see that again. We need him to prove it to us. And that is what he says he is going to do. And what I think we would really look out for with Araujo is doing that, performing, being at that highest level in the biggest of moments. When the pressure is on, when the stakes are high, you're talking about Champions League, you're talking there about big knockout games, that's when you've got to keep a cool head. That's when you've got to truly deliver your best performances. That's what we'll be looking for. And look, I think we all hope that he can produce that here in the coming campaign. But indeed, guys, I think on the very same note here, we also need to have some discussion and some debate surrounding Dani Olmo right now. Because I would look at the squad, I would look at all the starting players from last season, and I would honestly say that the player with the most pressure on his position, on his role in the team right now, it would have to be Dani Olmo. Because I think if you look at pre-season, the way that it's gone here, we have seen Flick testing players out there, trying different combinations as the number 10, whether it be Fermin Lopez, who also ended last season so well. You also seen the incredible talent of Dro, somebody coming through and really shining. And we've also added, don't forget, Marcus Rashford to the squad right now, which also means that Rafinha could well occupy a more central attacking position, which would also harm Dani Olmo. And you've even got Gavi. He's putting himself in the conversation too for every single role in that midfield, really, with the way that he's been getting forward, he's been scoring goals, he's been really progressing well in the advanced positions. So I just think right now, if you are Dani Olmo, you have to step up. You know, that's the situation that he's in right now. You're looking at what's going on around you, you're looking at the competition for places, and you know you have to perform. If you want to play, if you want to start in this team right now, in that 10, you've got to be at your absolute best. And ultimately, guys, can I just say, this is what we want. This is a coach's dream in terms of the depth of the squad right now, because it means you can't take anything for granted. Even if you are a player like Dani Olmo, signed, last summer for 60 million euros, that doesn't guarantee you anything. That doesn't mean that you're going to play every week regardless of performance. You've got to work. You've got to perform. No matter who you are, no matter what you've cost, you have to show me why you're going to be in the team. And of course with Olmo, it is less about quality. It is less there about what he can do on the field, but it is about staying fit, staying sharp, making sure that you're carrying that momentum through, something we couldn't really see too much of last season. Those are the big question marks. And it's a big campaign. It's a big season coming up for Dani Olmo. But of course, guys, with all of that said right now, we do have to move on to the important news that is coming out in the media today. And it does revolve around Marc-Andre Ter Stegen. Now, can we just go back a little bit? Only 2 days ago, we were talking about Ter Stegen's situation. We were talking about the fact there that all Barca were waiting for with regard to La Liga, with regard to FFP using Ter Stegen's salary, all they needed was Ter Stegen's signature. They need that on the medical forms there to basically send that data to La Liga. They cannot do that without Ter Stegen's permission because it is private personal data. So all they were lacking was Ter Stegen's signature. Now, when I spoke about this 2 days ago, I think we were all thinking the same thing. We were all thinking, surely there's not going to be a problem there. Surely for even Ter Stegen, even despite everything that has happened this summer, that would be even too far for him. There's not going to be any fuss with this. He's not going to refuse to sign it or anything like that. He's not going to do that, is he? He has. He actually has. What we are hearing in the media right now is that Ter Stegen is straight up refusing to give his signature. He won't put it on there. He will not sign it there, which means that Barca, as it stands, they can't send anything to La Liga. They cannot prove that Ter Stegen is going to be out for 4 months of action, that it will take him that long to recover, that we should be able to use some of his salary in his absence. We can't do that. He is blocking everything because he refuses to give his signature. And can I just make a few things clear? Because again, let me just repeat, no matter what, Ter Stegen will get paid. He is not signing away his salary. He is not giving that salary to another player. It is simply about FFP, the way that things are allocated. If Ter Stegen is not registered, his salary doesn't count towards FFP, but he still gets paid. So don't think here that Ter Stegen is causing a fuss because he wants his money. He's getting it anyway. All this is spite. All this is jealousy, anger. Whatever emotion Ter Stegen is feeling right now, he is only doing this to hurt the club. Because look, he's not going to be there. He can't play there. He decided to have the back surgery. He decided to miss several months of the season. And instead of saying, now look, I can't be there. You're still going to be paying me anyway. I'm not going to be giving you anything on the field. But you know what? I'll do my bit. I'll just help the club here. If you like, you can use some of my salary margin on the FFP side. I'll just do that. You know, it doesn't cost me anything. It doesn't hurt me. But no, it's spite, it's jealousy, it's anger. He doesn't want anything to be helping the club. He doesn't want to do anything for his teammates right now. And can I just say as well, guys, and you're going to be very, very wary of this in the media right now, if you're hearing reports coming out from sport, who, to be fair, at the best of times, they are very much hit and miss, they seem to be on the Ter Stegen situation very much on his side. Now, what we can read into that, I don't know. Whether Ter Stegen has connections to sport, I really, really don't know on that. But they are very much pro Ter Stegen in their reporting. We hear them say things like, oh, players are supporting Ter Stegen. They could actually vote for him to become the captain again. When we hold the vote very soon to decide who's going to be the new captain, sports say it might actually be Ter Stegen. They might go down that road again. And can I just stress here, players publicly, what you've heard from the players, what you've heard there when they've spoken to the media, they're obviously not going to slam their teammate in public. That was never going to happen. They're never going to come out and say, oh, we're not happy with what he's doing. We're not really happy with the situation here that he's putting the club through. You're not going to hear that. Ultimately they're going to stick with somebody who they've shared a dressing room with. Publicly they're going to keep everything above board. However, I absolutely guarantee you they will not vote for this man as the captain of Barcelona. And the reason for that is they look around the dressing room. They see the commitment from every single player. They see the selflessness. That's what Flick has brought to this club. That's why Flick doesn't want Ter Stegen as part of this group. He doesn't buy into that. He does not put his teammates' interests before his. He's all about himself. He's all about what can I do? What's happening to me? How can I hurt the club? There are other players in that dressing room who would run through brick walls for this badge. There are other players in that dressing room who are much, much, much more deserving of that famous captain's armband than Ter Stegen is right now. So do not think for a single second here that he will remain the captain, that he will be voted back in. Because anyway, Flick will have the power, by the way, to veto that. He will have the power to say, actually, I don't think so. I'm going to pick. That is something that will be left with the coach if required this summer. And I just can't believe this from Ter Stegen. There's so much that's gone on this summer. There's so much there where people have tried to find excuses for him. How do you excuse this? How do you excuse the fact that he is just refusing to give his signature to the club, where he is stopping and halting the process with La Liga, who are already difficult enough to deal with, without our own players making it harder? So indeed, guys, that is the situation at Barca right now, and for sure there are going to be developments on this Ter Stegen situation. Barca internally right now, they are looking at what they can do. What kind of legal route are they able to go down in terms of Ter Stegen just blocking, stalling this entire process? So let me know in the comments down below. What do you think of all this? What do you make of Ter Stegen's latest actions in this whole saga? And I'm really, really interested to know what you guys are feeling right now. I will see you soon, where there will be lots more coming up, lots more updates now. We are excited, no matter what, for this brand new season, and I thank you indeed for all of your fantastic support, guys. But until next time, as always, Vejka, El Barça!